Hello everybody, I would like to show you my next plan for the cooling on the Fiesta ST. Currently on the car there has been the AirTech Motorsport Fiesta ST solution that they are offering, and I'm completely ditching everything out of that kit. Probably I will just keep the hoses. The AirTech kit comes with the 13-row oil cooler. They are also supplying a bracket to fit the cooler right in front of the rat pack. Due to various reasons, I'm completely ditching that solution. I will be moving the oil cooler into the left front corner of the vehicle in front of the left front tire, where the reservoir for the windscreen washer originally sits. I've completely gotten rid of the reservoir, so there is a space for this cooler solution. Not only am I replacing their cooler with a setup one, I'm also replacing the originally supplied Mocal sandwich plate that was part of that kit. So yeah, basically this is a completely new engine oil cooler solution. My decisions are as follows. I'm going with the original setup 16-row oil cooler. I want to have much more oil cooler capacity. I went with the setup solution because there the quality control when it comes to pressure testing, the quality of the brazing of the whole cooler and the body is definitely much better than what I have seen on the AirTech one. AirTech is definitely using Chinese cheap generic oil coolers. Setup one should be much more better and more reliable solution. I'm really focusing on the reliability, especially because the cooler will sit in front of the front wheel. I do not want to see any kind of leaks. I don't want to take my chances and risk a rupture of the cooler due to, let's say, low quality of the brazing. So I hope the setup one will work out. Another part of the solution that I'm going for is a completely new sandwich plate. The Mocal sandwich plate that was supplied in the AirTech originally was just a cast part. There was a lot of not really nice details in the plate, and also these passages were very small. And because, well, the lubrication on the engine is fully reliant on the oil pressure, I do not want to use pressure in a low quality sandwich plate. I've decided to go with this heli unit simply because this is a billet part. First of all, it is so much nicer. All the details, all the passages are excellent. They also have 3 options to choose the temperatures for the thermostat. The thermostat stays always open, at least for 10%, so there is always oil. There will be always oil flowing around in the oil line, so there will be no trapped air or something like that. The other thing is, you can see there are these angled options, angled ports. So what you can do, definitely, you can also have these AN fittings go into these angled ones, and you can also replace these with the sensors. I'm going for a 1/8 NPT standard NTC type sensor. I will have 2 sensors on the into the cooler and also out of the cooler. I will use this to measure the efficiency of this whole solution. Another thing that I will be doing for the oil cooler part is I will be running a fan. This is again a SPAL fan, so this is not some Chinese generic fan. I looked up the CFMs for this one, and it really should be plenty good. I will use one fan only for the oil cooler. Of course, this will have to be custom mounted with all the brackets, etc. But the fan will not be turned on always. I will be using this Craig Davies Australian-made fan control unit. This is a very nice unit. By the way, there are some knockoffs available somewhere on AliExpress for 1/4 of this, 1/4 of the price of this original unit, but it really is a knockoff. So this is the genuine one that came from Australia. A very nice part, all sealed, decent cables. All the details on this thing those details are really nice. They have a very long probe, high quality probe with a connector. This probe will sit in the cooler, probably in this one, and this is all adjustable. So when the controller senses a set temperature, it has the option to turn on 2 fans, and you can see I only have one. So this one will be on the oil cooler. Later on, I will be finishing a kit for the turbo cooler, which will also sit on the opposite side of the car, on the in front of the front right wheel, which is the usual place where the turbo coolers sit. So when the temperature will be high enough, the controller will turn on both of the fans. Nice detail on this is there is a 10-second delay on these two relays. This is just to lower the strain on the electrical circuits in the car, so they don't come up at once. And by the way, this will not be a problem. The amperage on these small fans is really very low, so even if they would be turned on at once, it really doesn't matter. So this will be the controller for the fan, at first for the oil cooler. Another thing that I have ready for the cooling solution for the Fiesta is the turbo cooler. I do not have the cooler itself here, but I will just show you what I'm going to do with when it comes to measuring the efficiency of the solution. I will be running these AN10 to 10 mil adapters for the 10 mil hose that is part of the turbo return hose that is basically part of the turbo cooler solution. Oh, by the way, I'm running the S280 Turbo Technics Turbo. Just this is something that I forgot to mention earlier. When it comes to sensing the temperatures, this is, well, not really the most clever idea. So I've got these adapters because these temperature sensors, they're very, very long. So I need something that will not protrude into the fitting here, into the adapter. So I will be running these sensors at the end of this. So the coolant line will go from the cooler through this adapter, a little coolant line to this one. And I hope that some part of the coolant will flow down onto the sensor. Yeah, so let's see if this one goes. Maybe it's a stupid idea and I will just ditch it for some better solution. Maybe I will run AN adapters with an 1/8 NPT hole for the sensor, and it will be just right at the on the input and output of the cooler. I don't know. I will just try this. Next part, this is just for fun. And this is a sensor, temperature sensor that will be going into the drain plug that will replace the drain plug on the gearbox. I will not be running a cooler there. Just this is just for my information. I do plan to run a full flat floor in the future, and I want to see how this will affect the temperatures of the gearbox or transmission oil in here. So this is, you know, cheap thing, nothing very crazy, not something that I want to focus on. I just want to have the data, and I want to see how those temperatures will change in the future when I will just close off the bottom under the bonnet. How am I going to measure all of these temperatures? I'm going to use this custom gauge. This is built by JFP in the Czech Republic. This one is a little bit custom. It does have a red backlight, so this should fit much nicer in the interior. I've designed and printed this box with of course with the openings for the connectors. This is printed from ASA. It will sit to the left of the behind my steering wheel, so it is not going to, you know, block any view on the instruments and this kind of stuff. It's a box, but yeah, this is what I need. This unit is capable not only of showing 8 sensors at the same time, so it does have 8 analog inputs at the same time. It is also able to run alerts, and it is also capable of data logging, which is extremely important for me. I don't want to look at the gauge at all the times. I want to see the data. I want to see how the driving on racing circuits, you know, how does it affect all of the temperatures at once. I want to do some data analysis of this, and of course there is a reduction cable to USB, so I can just connect my notebook and get the data out of the unit and to see what has been happening during the driving. Just some wires that I have gotten ready, silicone wires, high temp resistant with some protection. and this will be built into the car later on. So yeah, this is just the basic introduction of the hardware. The steps how I'm going to proceed with this one are as follows. Number one, the oil cooler will go onto the car. I will need all of the custom brackets with the fan controller, with the fan and the controller. Of course, with the lights and this kind of standard sandwich plate. Of course, it wouldn't work other way. So next step will be fitting the turbo cooler with all of the sensors getting ready. And once all of this hardware will be done, as the final step, I will be fitting the gauge with all of the wires because I need a few more sensors. I do not have 2 more sensors for this coolant input and output for the turbo cooler. But yeah, I will get it all done. And let's see. If you are interested in how the progress will be on the car, I will show how the installation looks like at the very end. And of course, I will be sharing the data that I will be able to gather from all of these solutions. And yes, I think it's going to be quite an interesting undertaking. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions, put them down in the comments. And yeah, that's for now. Thank you.